What if the reason you keep quitting has nothing to do with laziness? What if your motivation disappearing is not a personal failure, but a predictable part of how your brain works? Think about the last time you started something new, a workout routine, a side project, a morning routine, a business idea. The first week felt amazing. You were excited, you had energy, you imagined the better version of yourself already taking shape. But then week 3 arrived. The alarm felt heavier, the work felt boring, the excitement disappeared. You told yourself, I'll get back to it tomorrow. And somehow, tomorrow became next week became never. Most people look at that pattern and think, I'm just not disciplined. But here's the truth. Motivation was never designed to last. Your brain gives you a motivational spike when something is new. But once the novelty fades, that emotional fuel drops. So the real question is not, how do I stay motivated forever? The real question is, what do I build for the days when motivation disappears? Because motivation gets you started. Systems keep you moving. And today, I'm going to show you a simple momentum system built around 5 parts: identity, friction, checkpoints, accountability, and renewal. If you use these correctly, you won't need to feel motivated every day to keep moving forward. First, you need an identity anchor. Most people attach their habits to goals. I want to lose weight. I want to write a book. I want to build a business. I want to become more productive. Goals are useful, but they are fragile, because when you are tired, stressed, or disappointed, a goal can feel far away. Identity is stronger. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve, ask, who am I becoming? There's a big difference between saying, I'm trying to get fit, and saying, I am the kind of person who moves their body every day. One is a wish, the other is an identity. Imagine 2 people on the same rainy Monday. One says, I'm trying to be consistent. The other says, I'm the kind of person who shows up even when it's inconvenient. Same weather, same tired body, different identity, different decision. So here is your first action step. Write one sentence that begins with, I am the kind of person who, not I want to, not I hope to. I am the kind of person who. That sentence becomes your anchor when motivation disappears. Second, you need to understand the motivation curve. At the beginning of a new habit, motivation shoots up because everything feels fresh. Then it drops, and this drop is where most people quit. Not because they're failing, but because the work has become normal and the results are not visible yet. This is the valley of disappointment. You are putting in effort, but you cannot see the payoff. You are writing, but the audience is not growing yet. You are exercising, but the mirror has not changed yet. You are studying, but the skill still feels difficult. This stage feels like proof that nothing is working, but often it is proof that something is being built. The problem is that most people measure progress too soon. They check daily, get discouraged, and quit. Instead, schedule progress checkpoints every 2 to 4 weeks. At each checkpoint, do not only ask, did I reach the goal? Ask better questions. Am I starting faster than before? Am I recovering quicker after missing a day? Is the habit becoming easier to repeat? Do I have more evidence that I am becoming this kind of person? Progress is not always loud. Sometimes progress is simply the fact that you came back one more time. Third, reduce friction when motivation is low. This is where many people make a huge mistake. When motivation drops, they try to force the full version of the habit. They say, I promised myself I'd write for 2 hours, or I said I'd work out for an hour. But on low energy days, that high standard creates resistance, and resistance kills momentum. The goal is not to lower your ambition. The goal is to keep the chain alive. So create a minimum version of the habit. If your full habit is writing for 1 hour, your minimum version is 1 paragraph. If your full habit is a workout, your minimum version is 10 push-ups or a 5-minute walk. If your full habit is studying for 2 hours, your minimum version is reading 1 page. This works because action often comes before motivation. You do not always feel motivated and then start. Many times you start and then motivation appears. The first step creates the feeling. So make the first step almost impossible to avoid. Do not ask, how do I make this impressive? Ask, how do I make this easy to start? Fourth, use accountability the right way. Most people think accountability means someone asking, did you do it? That helps a little, but real accountability is deeper. You need someone who understands your vision, not just your task. Because when things get hard, you don't need someone who only reminds you of a checklist. You need someone who reminds you why this matters. A good accountability partner does three things. They know what you are building.
They know why it matters to you, and they help you return when you drift. Accountability is not about guilt. It is about making your future self harder to abandon. Fifth, schedule renewal before burnout. High performers do not run at maximum speed forever. They manage their energy. The amateur approach is to push until you crash, then recover. The sustainable approach is to lower intensity before you break. Think of momentum like breathing. You cannot inhale forever. You have to exhale so you can continue. That means planning lighter days, shorter sessions, review weeks, quiet time, walks, sleep, space to think. Renewal is not quitting. Renewal is maintenance, and maintenance is what keeps the system alive. Now let's put the whole system together. When motivation fades, do not panic. Return to your identity anchor. Follow the motivation curve without mistaking the valley for failure. Reduce friction so starting becomes easy. Use accountability to stay connected to your vision, and schedule renewal before burnout takes control. This is how momentum is built, not by feeling inspired every day, but by designing your life so the next right action becomes easier to take. The people who keep going are not always more motivated than you. They have simply built better support around the moments when motivation disappears. So this week, do not ask, how do I stay motivated? Ask, what can I build so I do not need motivation to begin? Because motivation will always fade. That is not the obstacle. That is the rule. And once you stop fighting that rule, you can finally start building around it. Stop chasing motivation. Build momentum. If you want more practical systems for focus, habits, discipline, and productivity, subscribe to Day One Optimizer. This channel is here to help you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start building from day one. And remember, you do not need endless motivation. You need a system that keeps moving when motivation is gone.